Welcome to Impact Africa, our online bold moves program where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. This is your girl, Kemi Akiode Adebayo, Mama K for short. And in today's program, we'll be having my dear brother from another mother, my African brother, Mr. Abdikadir. Let me get the proper surname. Mohammed is the director and project officer of the Somali Association of South Africa, and he is based in Cape Town. My brother, welcome to the program. How are you today?
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh, very well. And you know, I always get your name. I'm like, Abdikadir. What's the right pronunciation?
You tried. But
I tried.
You're not the only one.
Yeah. I know me and Fatima, we normally say Abdi. That's a short one to me.
But
does it mean something, your name, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it mean?
Servant of God.
Oh, servant of God. No wonder you're serving the community.
Yes.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
Like you said, my name is Abdikadir Mohammed, and I'm in South Africa like 18 years now.
Okay.
And like you said, I work for the community in the civil society sector, and I've been also doing some work before I joined Somali Association in 2011 in the townships, and I think in between is a lot of...
There's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Well, I want to hear some of those stories. Let me start first with how or what brought you from Somali to South Africa?
It's basically,
you said 18 years ago now, roughly.
It's basically the civil war that happened in our country in 1991. So by that time I was young.
You're still young?
Yeah, but I was young.
Very young, I know.
Very young, younger than the age now. And many people have ran away from the civil war. So I'm talking about the civilians, those who are not fighting in the war, who are women, children, also adults, men and women who ran away from the war. So I was just part of that, and I ran away from the country with some adults who are some neighbors. They were neighbors to us. Okay. So we ran different paths, me and my family, but myself personally.
So before the civil war, which is not a good thing, you know, definitely for any nation, what was life like? You know, what were the positive things of growing up in Somali for you?
Probably, I will tell you the stories I've had.
Okay.
But I was not in the position to understand it because I was a young child, a young boy. But it was very positive because Somalia was one of the countries that was leading the African Organization of African Unity that time, or AU. And even to the extent where our country was leading the fight, or with colonization and looking for freedom to support other countries. For example, South Africa is one of them, Mozambique, Angola, Namibia, you can name them, a lot of countries. And things were very good in our country. Some people think that we were not a democratic country. We were democratic. We went to elections, free and fair elections. We elected president like twice, and things were good in our country, and we have got the longest coastline. Our land is rich with mineral resources, although it's not been, still is unexplored. But when we could reach the stage of exploring it is now when the civil war started. So we were independent for 31 years before the civil war happened. So we got independence in 1960. And our history is very diverse. Maybe it will take like 1 month to explain.
That's the beauty of a lot of African nations, you know, the diversity, the richness, the people, the food, the culture. So let's fast forward now, to South Africa. So 18 years ago, you were very young, like you said, and you came into a different country, which probably was a culture shock, in terms of what the country had for you. How has that experience been from then till now for you in South Africa?
It was actually a learning experience. So I remember the first time I entered South Africa, the first day, like you said, cultural shock. The first thing that shocked me was the cliques of the Xhosa.
Oh, okay.
Zulu language.
Yeah.
So I had someone speaking over the phone. I'm not sure if it was Xhosa or Zulu because it sounds the same most of the time. And there were some clicks in it, and I was shocked. Like I never thought those could be words. But I asked somebody, what is this person speaking? What language is this? And I was told that's Xhosa, and this is one of the languages spoken in the country. And you'll meet a lot of people speaking this language. So that was the first cultural shock. then the second thing was that new in a country, young, very young, no father, no mother, parents, sisters, brothers, nobody, just friends or people that we met, and you have to survive on your own. Yeah. So it's a very difficult thing to you know, go through. So most of the time, people think that you just come in and you're comfortable, you're enjoying, and you just start from you know, running a small shop, and you're well off, and you know, they start asking these questions, where you get the money from, and all these stories. But the reality of the matter is that I had to start working for another Somali who owned a spaza shop. Okay. So I had to work in the spaza shop, no leisure, no going out, nowhere to go, nobody to visit, nowhere, even
24/7 probably.
It was in Port Elizabeth. There's a beautiful beach there. I've never been there that time.
Because you were working?
Yes. And I did not even have a cell phone. So the first month I had to work for money to buy a cell phone, to make sure that I will be able to be in contact with people, family and friends. And I had to save the money I was earning. That time it was very small money. Compared to 2021. So I was earning like 1,200 rand. Probably the economy of the country was different. The money value was actually different as well. So I had to save that money. No leisure at all. So it's from 4 o'clock in the morning, which is 4 a.m., wake up, open the shop, clean the place, prepare, you know, take the bread, do all these things that are supposed to be done, until 10 o'clock in the evening, night. Sometimes 11 p.m. No sleeping, no resting, no break, no lunch, nothing, no leave. All those things are leisure, nothing like that. 24/7, Monday to Sunday, 4 a.m. to 4 a.m. to 10 or 11. Yeah. Depending on the day, sometimes in the weekends it's mostly 11 because people are still buying, you know, groceries even late. And on top of that, living in fear. The fear is that you'll be attacked anytime by an armed robber with a gun, you know, on your head, and you can be injured or killed anytime. So living in that life for a period of like 1.5 years. Wow. That is when I was working for people. And after that, I had collected some money, saved money. You know, sometimes they call it like you survive, you know, survival to the fittest. Like you have to survive in a way. And then it needs commitment. And you have to come with that strength that you are not going to give up at all. Like you stop your soul or your, you know, your emotions or your feelings that you need to have leisure like other people do. So that was a moment I remember, but the next step was to open now my own business with a partnership with other two friends. One was a family, other one was a friend. Okay. And we have to start our own business. We started our own business.
Was it a spaza shop as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So the three of us were working different places in that period. So the other two were also in other places working for other people. So they were also saving money. So we brought that money together, and then we had to open our own spaza shop. Yeah.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah,
what we'll do is, it's so good, you know, hearing about that journey and that personal experience, because a lot of people sometimes don't understand, you know, people's journey, and they think, oh, you know, how did he manage to get to where he is? But what we'll do, we'll take a quick break, and you'll then be able to tell us when we come back a little bit about what the Somali Association of South Africa is. So we'll be right back. right, still in conversation with my dear brother here. So now we heard a little bit about your personal journey from Somali to South Africa, and a very, very quick one, and a very, very interesting one. You know, the fact that, you know, you lived in fear, but your work ethics, your commitment, the fact that, you know, even after starting up in business, seeing another opportunity for yourself and friends, two friends, to come together to start up a business. What is the Somali Association of South Africa about? What does it do? When was it started? How did you get involved?
Okay, the Somali Association of South Africa is a non-profit organization formed in 1996 and registered in 1999 with the Department of Social Development. That time they even call it welfare department.
Right.
That time I was not in the country, but that was formed by other Somali brothers who have seen the gap in between in terms of the needs of the community. For example, refugees, asylum seekers in the country, and there's no diplomatic mission. There was no embassy. By the way, there has never been an embassy, Somali embassy in South Africa before 2012.
Really?
The whole of it, yeah. The reason is because by the time Somalia was independent, they established missions around the world, but they didn't want to establish a mission in South Africa because of appetite. So it was kind of a protest against appetite.
Right.
So,
interesting.
And the time South Africa got independence, 1994, the country was already in civil war. So it was not possible to establish. So the brothers, they found that gap, that there is no, you know, there are no representatives from the community who can be able to help the community or, you know, liaise with government in case there's any need. And there was that need to have an organization that can represent the community. So it was the first Somali organization formed in South Africa. The oldest and, you know, the first. And the reason was because there was need for a representation of the community.
And for the welfare of the Somalian community.
And even sometimes they represented the country back home. In issues where there is no embassy presentation, they used to go there, put the flag there. You know? But after that now, things have changed. And, you know, people have led the organization. It's a national organization, and you know, different people have came, you know, to lead and left. But in 2011, that's when I joined the organization. And I was interested in it because I was also feeling the need for people to get help. So I was passionate of helping others. And now by that time, I was very experienced in terms of the challenges I faced.
That you had faced.
South Africa,
so you've won the T-shirt, you've done it, been there.
So
you could help other people, you know, that are coming in.
So that is the time when I joined Somali Association. And by that time, I was not in a leadership position. I started now going up the ranks from being a spokesperson to secretary to deputy. You know, that time there was the system of chairperson and chairman, you know, and vice chairperson. And then in 2012, I became director of Somali Association Western Cape. And in 2013 is when we have opened this office here. It existed, but it existed somewhere else before me. So from that moment, my work was just with the community, advocating for the community. But we had different, you know, stages that the organization came through. So most of the things were done on volunteer basis. People were volunteering throughout the years. And our programs were always, you know, on promoting self-reliance and integration of refugees and asylum seekers. So teaching them about their rights and responsibilities and trying to create that social cohesion environment whereby people could be integrated into the South African community. And there were a lot of experiences that we cannot count one by one. But coming to the achievements that we so far have, you know, achieved, It's a lot of achievements that the organization has
Just share with us one.
Yeah.
Share with us one that you, because I can see a lot of certificates and awards and so on.
Yeah. So one of them was the time that in 2016, when the Minister of Home Affairs or the Ministry of Home Affairs has recognized and awarded me as one of the winners in the category of civil society NGO in the work that I've been doing. So what I've been doing was not something that just went away, not being noticed. It has been noticed. And in 2016, they gave me an award. They called it Mkaya Migrants Award.
Wow.
Which is for civil society NGO. And it is through the work of Somali Association that I have been awarded for that award.
Wow.
And in 2016 as well, I'm sure you are aware of the time that you are part of this as well, whereby in Tigerberg area, we have been recognized as the NGO of the year 2016. And there are a lot of other achievements with regards to, soccer, football, awards. There were also other achievements whereby we have been invited to international platforms.
Wow.
Like, for example, in 2015, we have been invited to the Global Humanitarian Summit that was happening in Switzerland. And I forgot to mention also in 2009, our national director at that moment, Ahmed, was invited to Geneva by the United Nations to represent all refugees and asylum seekers in South Africa.
Amazing.
And through his advocacy, the outcome was some of the resettlement activities happening from 2009 that you have seen. It was actually through him that he advocated for that. Obviously, with the help of the Almighty.
Of course. We can't do anything. So the Almighty. Now I hear all your achievements and your success stories, which very commendable for yourself and your team, of volunteers and other people that you work with. What are some of the challenges though that you have had, as an organization?
The biggest challenges were lack of funding.
Okay. So how do you get funds? How do you survive?
Like I mentioned to you, that from 2016 is when we have at least got some funding.
Okay.
So you can imagine from 1996 to 2016.
Wow.
It's like 20 years running without funding.
Wow.
But from 2016, we have been recognized. People have noticed the differences we are, the achievements and all the things we are doing.
The track record of what you're doing.
We started now getting some funding. Okay. So from that time, although it's different ways that we get some funding from different places, but we got some funding. And through that funding, we were able to expand our work. So for example, we have got programs like advocacy, which is broad, whereby our advocacy officers are, escorting people to hospitals. For example, language barrier is a big problem for refugees and asylum seekers, because most of the people from our community, English language is not the first language. And it's actually a new language to many of them.
But I think you run classes though for some of your
So we started running English classes for adults. We started running, after school program for children who are going to school. Because when children come back from school, they come back with homework and the parents are not able to help. And then we had workshops that we ran for the community to, invite people. For example, sometimes like people like you are involved in some of the workshops. Trainings, for example, like sewing skills training, baking for women, we even had youth and sports program, whereby, like I mentioned, there were some successes. And then the advocacy issue is a very big one and broad, because we are dealing with issues ranging from issues like, for example, documentation, hospital challenges, language barrier, and social grants challenges, a lot of things that community faces, and even welfare. For example, people who don't have any income, single parents, mothers, widows, different kind of people, elderly. So we have
So
been
that means you work across from the
Yes,
young ones
yes,
to the
yes.
older ones. We're going to take a quick break again, and we'll be right back. What would you say are some of your personal qualities that have helped you, to navigate, working with the government, which you work with other organizations? And I must commend you, since I've been here, 2006, I think the Somali Association in terms of African countries, that established in Cape Town, let me focus on Cape Town, Western Cape. I think Somali Association or Somali community are actually the most organized grouping, where you actually have offices, although other, nationalities are coming on board, like my Nigerian brothers and sisters, before I get into trouble. But saying that you guys have led the part, like you said, some 20 years you had no funding, and you've managed to create all that. What personal qualities, because I'm sure it's not just based on, what personal qualities do you think you have that's helped you to run a successful organization? And I'm sure, like you said, there's been learning and curves and challenges and failures at some point, but what qualities do you think?
I think first of all, whatsoever courage or passion or commitment or resilience or patience you have, without the support or the being made possible by the Almighty, you can't go anywhere. So first of all, I would like to say all praises and thanks are to the Almighty who has made it possible. Secondly, I had the passion of helping others. I was always becoming more encouraged to help more people. So whenever things are tough and I am at the peak of giving up, then I see people who need help, and then I pick up the courage, and now it becomes more interesting and more attractive. So it's a matter of being resilient, patient, and developing that passion for helping others, and it becomes part of your life. Like you cannot do without it. So for example, if I'm told today, look, we want you to go somewhere else and do something else where you're not going to be involved with people and you want to help people, but you'll be working with only machines, I'm going to say no, because it doesn't give you that make you happy. It doesn't make me happy. But if I'm called for helping more people, in even a bigger number of people, of different diverse people, for example, for different things, and then it's made bigger, and I'm given a bigger job, I'll be more happier, because that is what makes me happy.
Wow. So obviously what you're saying is, in terms of what even keeps you going, is God. That's what I'm hearing, from you. That's
the Almighty
that can be possible.
Makes things moving forward.
Okay. So now, because we're going to round up very shortly now, and I really need to ask this one. We all know the issues, we're faced as immigrants or whatever, foreigners, we're being called, people like, who come from other countries into South Africa. And we know as well some of the issues we faced in our other African country or other countries, from poverty, unemployment, xenophobia, and so on. I don't want to focus on the issue, but what do you think, maybe one thing or something else that can be done, to address some of these challenges? Anyone, you can pick anyone. Just one example of what can be done to address this challenge is in Cape Town,
So I'm not sure if you're referring to the current situation of the country. the challenges we are facing now.
We've been facing a lot of challenge and it's gotten worse now.
Yeah.
So anyone you want to pick on? Anyone?
I think the best way to approach the challenges we are facing right now is first of all to admit what the problem is.
Right.
And when I'm saying to admit, you will hear a lot of people saying that some things are happening. People are looting and they are, breaking shops because they're hungry. To be honest, there are a lot of African people hungry in African countries who do not even have what is in South Africa, what people in South Africa can get. They don't even get social grants. They don't get anything.
Yeah.
The government never builds houses for them. Nobody gives them anything. But you can't use hunger as a reason to do some of the things. So for me, I think the first thing is to admit where the problem is coming from. Many times there are issues, for example, like poverty, inequality, and employment that are mentioned. But these things do not contribute to people to loot or to destroy or to commit some of the crimes that are committed. But the problem is there is no justice. For example, if I come to your house, break your house, and take your things, I'm not brought to book. The truth of the matter is that I am supposed to be brought to book and justice. I'm supposed to face justice. If that happens, it means then when you are free, I am free. No one has been, no one's rights was violated. Then we can talk about issues of poverty and employment and equality and say, okay, what can we do about it together? You are the poor, I'm the rich. You are the rich, I'm the poor. What can we do about it? But if you are going to kill me, injure me, rob me, loot my shop, and yet again now we say, okay, let's talk. You can't talk to a victim about why were you victimized. You can't ask. You can see the person as being victimized, but the perpetrator must be brought to book, and people should know that no one has the right to take someone's property or belongings or life. In any case, whether you are hungry or not. You get my point. And then the other thing is that government needs to think wise about teaching people history, educating people about what, how people can really live, like migrate from this stage of having this poverty and all these things, and move to a place where people can help themselves, become self-employed, stand for themselves. So as a young boy, when I came in, like I explained to you, I did not have any cent, but with the support of the Almighty, I was able to get through. But Almighty is there to support everyone, it's not only me. So it's a matter of believing in yourself, like you can do something. So if I'm coming from outside of the country, but I can help myself, why not someone who's born in this country? There's no reason to give it. No one can give an explanation and say no, because no one has an opportunity is out there for everyone. So it's up to the person to commit and to come with a commitment, to achieve something.
Wow, we're being chased from everywhere. Your phone is ringing, my phone is ringing, and I know you are a very busy person, and I would really love to continue the conversation. And I'm hoping, you will invite us back, to even see some of what you're doing. Even if you don't invite us, we'll invite ourselves.
I will invite you.
To come back and speak to the women, the youth, young people, that you work with, so that we can find out more, about what the organization is about. Because some of what you've said there, they're so deep, and we really need to keep having the conversations, but we need to keep taking action. So we need to keep saying and getting our voice up there, because like what you're saying, to admit the problem. And I think that is a big issue, and there's a lot, more that needs to be done. Me and you, I know we can talk more and debate and so on, and I still had one or two things I was going to ask, but I'm going to stop there because of time, and I know you're busy as well. But what I want to ask in closing, if you have any form of advice, tips, thoughts, whatever you want to share with anyone out there, be it the migrant, the young people, the women, the Africans, the South Africans, whoever you decide to speak to, I just want you to help me talk directly to them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. My advice to everyone else outside whether you're in South Africa or you're outside of South Africa, is that there is nothing people can do for you that you cannot do for yourself. So doing something for yourself starts with you. It doesn't really start from other people. So when you expect others to do things for you that you can do for yourself, then you will never be able to achieve anything. So my advice is that believe in yourself and you can do something for yourself. That is the bottom line. You are the one who can change your life, no one else. Thank you so much.
Wow. I like that phrase, believe in yourself. And I think that's what a lot of people, know about. And yeah, no one can help you, you can't change. You have to try and do things yourself. Thank you so much. I could go on and there's a lot more, like I said, but we will be back, like you said, to even go around, your organizations, to just see some of what you've done and what you're doing and speak to some of your beneficiaries and volunteers, as well. So thank you, and
you're
well
welcome.
done
Thanks
for
so
all
much.
you're doing, and we pray that God Almighty that has been helping you up till now, personally and in the community, will continue to lift you up and to take you to greater strength and in good health.
Thank you so much.
Because we've all realized now with the new norm of COVID that health is wealth, and health is very, very important. So all the very best to the Somali Association of South Africa, to yourself and your team, and I continue to look forward to working with yourself. And we pray that things get to improve more in Somalia as well. When are you going back? Have you been?
I can't tell you that.
You can't tell me that. Okay. So we'll talk about that next time, because I want to visit, as well. That's what I'm asking. So that next time I can tag
I'll
along.
invite you, don't worry.
Okay, guys. Well, that's all.
Thank you so much.
Time for. It's been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. There's so much to talk about. You've heard about the Somali Association of South Africa. If you want to support in any way, I'm sure they can still do with more funds, more support, more helping kind. We will be sharing the contact details. They're based in Belleville, Cape Town. We'll be sharing the contact details, for you to get in touch and, work, collaborate, even if you can support in kind. Don't be out there and saying, oh, we don't know what they're about. Please reach out. We are all in this together. Till next time, and as Dr. Mandela always says about serving humanity, we've seen his name alone says he's a servant of God. So he's been called to do this. And as we continue to celebrate the month of Mandela, we just thank you all for being part of what we're doing. And we look forward to the next Impact Africa. Till next time, love you all. God is love. God bless you.